Hey there, it's Andy Werner, and listen, I wanted to come back to you on my promise from last time about how to get started doing deals, whether they're capital gains deals, whether they are cash flow deals. So whether you're looking at fixing and flipping or wholesaling, which would be capital gains, big chunks of money, or passive income, which is what I'd call cash flow deals. So that'd be rental properties, lending even, buying and selling notes, doing seller financing, that kind of stuff. How do you do those without your own money? So for those of you that are just getting started in this business, how do you go about doing this without any of your own money? And so there's a really simple answer, and I mean it's simple. It doesn't make it easy, right? So the simple answer is all deals can be done in real estate, because in real estate we can use creativity. If we try to use creativity in the stock market, what happens? We actually probably go to jail, right? So we don't want to be that guy or that gal. But in real estate, we can do tons and tons of things with creativity. So most of us are always thinking, oh man, I got to have all this capital. I got to have all this stuff to be able to do these deals. Well, let's just start with a couple of examples. Let's start with wholesaling. With wholesaling, I don't need any of my own money at all. In fact, with wholesaling, it's actually the greatest entry point into real estate investing whatsoever, because it doesn't require any of my own credit, doesn't require any of my own capital, because all I'm doing is going and finding a property that's typically distressed, whether it's distressed financially or whether it's distressed physically or both, and getting it under contract at below market value, because there's a cash price for everything, right? And so somebody needs to sell their house fast for cash, getting that property under contract and then selling that contract to somebody else. Okay, so you don't need to be a real estate agent to do this. You don't need to have a real estate license to do this, but all you're doing is selling a contract to somebody else, and that somebody else typically is another real estate investor who's looking for more deals. And trust me, there's more real estate investors out there that are looking for deals than there are deals out there. So that's one way about going about doing it without having to have any amount of capital on your own. It's just about going out and getting those deals, and you can do that through numerous different marketing channels. Some of those that require a little bit of money, like direct mail or pay-per-click advertising, and some of them don't require any money at all, like cold calling. Getting on the phone and calling specific seller leads, or actually door knocking. And so both of those things can be done without any of your own capital. Okay, so that would be one example of how to do it from the capital gain side of things, how to get a big chunk of cash. But what if we want to do that for cash flow? How can we go about doing a cash flow deal without having any of our own money? How do we go about doing that? Well, one of the easiest ways, let's just use a rental properties example. One of the easiest ways of doing that is finding somebody who has money and no time and partnering up with them. So who do I mean by that? Well, that might be your Uncle Jim or your Aunt Mary, or maybe it's just some friend of a friend who's maybe a professional. Maybe they're an attorney or a doctor, or a CPA or something like that, who's a very busy professional, and they have capital, they have money, and that money is typically tied up in a 401k or an IRA, and it's sitting idle, not invested well. And so if they put that money into a self-directed IRA or self-directed 401k, they could lend that money to your collective partnership to then go and buy rental properties. So if we were just talking about a single family house, maybe they put up all the money to buy the house for the repairs, and then you agree on some type of split, right? So they put up all that money, and you split the cash flow and the future appreciation. Maybe you give them a preferred return on their money, like say 4, 5, 6%, plus split all profits 50-50. That's cash flow and future appreciation when you do sell. So that's just one example of how to get into a cash flow deal without any of your own money. Maybe that somebody doesn't have to put up that much money at all. They're just putting up a little bit of their capital, and they're also signing on the loan for that rental property. Another way you could do this is also by a little bit more complicated strategy called syndication. So you go out and find, let's say, a 50-unit apartment complex or a 20-unit apartment complex, or heck, even a fourplex, right? And then you go raise money from 1, 2, 3, 5, 10, 15 people who put up the equity, and you go get the loan, or you get somebody else to get the loan and the equity. The important thing to note here is that all of this stuff, everything that I'm talking about here, is It's all right here, right? So we all have to just use the creative noodle that we've got between these 6 inches between our ears to be able to do these deals in a more creative way. And I'm not going to sit here and go on and on and on for forever here today. I just wanted to get you some ideas on how to get your juices flowing on how it is that you could actually go out and do deals. In fact, fix and flipping, like, that's a huge, obviously, hot button today, you know, on HGTV and A&E, and you know how popular fixing and flipping shows are. And some of you might even want to get into fixing and flipping, but you're like, oh man, I don't have any money. Listen, getting financing for fix and flip deals, if it's a good deal, is super easy, right? There is tons and tons and tons of hard money and private money lenders out there that will lend to you regardless of your credit. They don't care. They just care about the deal. But you're probably going to have to put down a down payment. You're probably going to have to make payments, and you're definitely going to need some money from repairs if that lender is not going to lend you some of that money for repairs. So again, it's just partnering up with somebody who has that capital but has very little time. You're the one who's getting the experience. You're the one that's actually putting in the sweat equity. And so you're providing value to somebody else who doesn't have the time and who wants maybe a greater return than they can possibly get somewhere else, like say stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and all the other garbage Wall Street investments that are out there, all right? So until next time, I hope that got your mind going, your juices flowing a little bit about how you could go do deals whether you have money or not. See, even when you have capital, being able to learn how to leverage other people's capital to do deals will allow you to be able to get into more and more deals than you ever thought possible. So I hope that you'll stay tuned to future videos that I have showing you how to do more and more deals with none of your own capital, how to do deals with capital, how to do all kinds of different creative deals in the future. So until next time, I'll see you then.